Welcome to Alternatify, where we challenge the known and explore the unknown. Today we embark on a journey into a world that never was, asking a profound question. What if the Spanish flu never happened? This isn't just about a virus that vanished. It's about a world fundamentally reshaped, a tapestry of human history rewoven. We'll explore the ripple effects, potential booms and busts, and societal changes that could have emerged. Prepare to challenge your assumptions, broaden your perspectives, and ignite your imagination. Let's dive into an alternate reality where one of history's greatest tragedies simply didn't occur. Imagine the world in 1918, reeling from the Great War. Nations were exhausted, populations decimated, and a fragile peace was struggling to take hold. Then, an invisible enemy emerged. The Spanish flu, misnamed but undeniably deadly, swept across the globe. It was a silent, relentless assassin, striking down millions in its path. This wasn't just another illness, it was a force of nature. The scale of its devastation is almost incomprehensible. It infected an estimated 500 million people, roughly one-third of the world's population. Its death toll, a staggering 50 to 100 million, tragically surpassed even the casualties of World War I. This pandemic stands as a stark reminder of the randomness of history. A single microscopic virus rewrote the course of civilization in ways we are still uncovering. Its absence would have created an entirely different timeline. Consider the immediate positive impacts if this plague had been averted. Millions of lives would have been preserved, families spared unimaginable grief. The social fabric of countless communities would have remained intact and stronger. In the arts, figures like Gustav Klimt and Egon Schiele, both victims of the flu, might have enjoyed longer, more prolific careers. Their continued contributions could have enriched the artistic landscape for decades. Science, too, would have benefited immensely. Undisrupted research and development could have led to earlier breakthroughs and faster discoveries. The collective intellectual capital of humanity would have been preserved. Economically, the world was already on shaky ground after the war. The flu exacerbated these hardships, adding another layer of instability. Without it, the potential for an even more robust, roaring 20s was very real. Yet the absence of the flu might also have presented paradoxical negative consequences. The pandemic, in its horrific way, acted as a catalyst for certain social reforms. It highlighted the urgent need for better public health care and exposed deep inequalities. Without this stark lesson, progress in these areas might have been significantly delayed. Furthermore, the fear and instability created by the flu were exploited by extremist ideologies. Its absence wouldn't guarantee a world free from such movements. Let's now venture into the realm of pure speculation, exploring how a world without the Spanish flu might have unfolded. These what-if scenarios paint a picture of profound divergence from our own history. First, consider a stronger post-war economic recovery. Without the flu's devastating impact on labor and trade, the global economy could have rebounded much faster and more robustly. The United States might have solidified its status as an economic powerhouse even sooner. This accelerated recovery could have made the world less prone to the Great Depression. The economic foundations might have been too strong for such a catastrophic collapse. Next, imagine a different technological trajectory. With fewer resources diverted to crisis management and more minds preserved, advancements in medicine, communication, and transportation could have accelerated. We might have seen earlier discoveries of antibiotics or even a faster development of the internet. Social norms would also have shifted. The flu significantly influenced hygiene practices and public health awareness. Without its terrifying lesson, these practices might have been delayed or less pronounced, leading to different attitudes towards disease. The political landscape could have been dramatically altered. The instability and despair following the flu contributed to the rise of fascism in Europe. Without this exacerbating factor, the emergence of such extremist ideologies might have been less likely. This, in turn, could have led to a different unfolding, or even the absence of the Cold War. The balance of power between the United States and the Soviet Union would have been fundamentally altered. Even World War II might have taken a different course. A stronger, more stable Germany, less susceptible to extremist movements, could have meant no Nazi regime. Or paradoxically, a stronger Germany could have led to a different, potentially equally devastating conflict. Ultimately, a world without the Spanish flu would be fundamentally different today. Our cultures, technologies, and political systems would be unrecognizable. The very fabric of our modern existence would be rewoven. Let's delve deeper into how specific aspects of society might have evolved in this alternate timeline. The arts, for instance, could have flourished with even greater vibrancy. A richer, more diverse and experimental artistic landscape might have emerged, unburdened by the collective trauma. In science and medicine, the impact would be immense. Faster advancements, unhindered by the pandemic's drain on resources and personnel, could have led to a significantly longer life expectancy for everyone. Public health would have seen earlier, more effective interventions. Politically and socially, the absence of the flu could have meant a less fertile ground for extremist ideologies. The rise of fascism might have been averted, and the Cold War could have taken a vastly different shape, or perhaps never even materialized in the form we know. The Roaring Twenties, already a period of economic boom and cultural change, could have been even more pronounced. Imagine an era of even greater optimism and widespread prosperity, unmarred by the lingering shadow of a global pandemic. The trajectory of World War II is a particularly compelling point of speculation. A stronger Germany, less economically devastated and politically radicalized, might have avoided the path to Nazism. This could have prevented the war entirely, or led to a conflict with entirely different belligerents and outcomes. The Cold War, too, would have been profoundly affected. The balance of power between the US and the Soviet Union, shaped by the post-WWI and post-flu landscape, would have been different. This could have led to a less tense or perhaps an even more volatile geopolitical standoff. Our world today, in every conceivable way, would be profoundly different. From the smallest cultural nuances to the grandest geopolitical structures, nothing would be quite the same. It's a world we can only imagine. While the idea of averting such a catastrophe is appealing, it's crucial to acknowledge potential negative consequences. Not every change in this alternate timeline would necessarily be for the better. One significant downside could be delayed social reforms. The flu, in its brutal efficiency, exposed critical weaknesses in public health infrastructure and social safety nets. Without this catalyst, progress on healthcare and social justice might have been much slower. A different political landscape, while potentially avoiding fascism, wouldn't necessarily be better. The seeds of conflict and geopolitical tension were present regardless of the flu. Other crises might have emerged, leading to different forms of instability. We might also have seen a more conservative society in some respects. Without the stark lesson of a pandemic, there might have been less emphasis on public health initiatives and collective hygiene practices. This could leave humanity vulnerable to future outbreaks. A different technological trajectory, while potentially faster, could also have unforeseen consequences. Rapid, unchecked development in certain areas might have created new ethical dilemmas or societal challenges we are unprepared for. Ultimately, a world without the Spanish flu might have been a more unstable one in some ways. Without the specific lessons learned from that crisis, humanity might have been less resilient to other economic, political, or even environmental challenges that inevitably arose. Let's consider some concrete historical junctures that would have been irrevocably altered. The Treaty of Versailles, for instance, might have been negotiated under vastly different circumstances. A stronger Germany, less weakened by both war and disease, could have led to a more equitable treaty, potentially preventing the rise of Nazism and World War II. The emergence of fascism itself might have been less likely. The economic hardship and social despair exacerbated by the flu provided fertile ground for extremist ideologies. Without that additional pressure, these movements might have struggled to gain traction. The Great Depression, a defining event of the 20th century, might have been less severe or even averted. A faster post-WWI recovery, unburdened by the flu's economic toll, could have created a more robust global economy, better equipped to withstand financial shocks. World War II, as we know it, might never have happened. A stronger Germany, a different political climate, and altered international relations could have steered Europe away from that catastrophic path. The consequences of such a change are almost too vast to comprehend. The Cold War, too, would have been fundamentally different. The post-WW2 balance of power, the ideological struggle, and the geopolitical alliances were all shaped by the preceding decades. Without the flu, the entire dynamic between the US and the Soviet Union would have been altered, potentially leading to a different unfolding, or even the absence of this prolonged conflict. Finally, the development of modern medicine would have seen faster advancements. Earlier life-saving treatments, vaccines, and public health strategies could have emerged, leading to a healthier, longer-lived global population much sooner. This thought experiment extends beyond mere historical analysis. It delves into profound philosophical questions. It forces us to confront the nature of history itself. Is it a predetermined path, or is it a fragile, chaotic dance of chance and circumstance? The role of chance becomes strikingly clear. How external forces, like a microscopic virus, can utterly reshape human events, redirecting the course of nations and generations. It highlights the delicate balance upon which our reality rests. It also underscores the immense value of life. The millions lost to the Spanish flu represent not just statistics, but countless stories, innovations, and contributions that were never realized. It reminds us of the preciousness of every individual life. The meaning of suffering is also brought into sharp focus. While the flu was an undeniable tragedy, it also spurred advancements and reforms. Does pain serve a purpose in human progress, or is it simply a cruel, random occurrence? Finally, it prompts us to consider the future of humanity. We face new challenges: pandemics, climate change, geopolitical tensions. This alternate history encourages us to reflect on our ability to overcome these obstacles, to learn from the past, and to shape a better future. We've journeyed through a world of possibilities, both fascinating and heartbreaking. The absence of the Spanish flu would have created a timeline almost unrecognizable to us. It's a powerful reminder of how a single event can ripple through centuries. The Spanish flu was a profound tragedy, but it was also an undeniable shaper of our current world. Its lessons, however painful, contributed to the development of modern public health and our understanding of global interconnectedness. What do you think? How would our world be different if the Spanish flu had never happened? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into alternate history, please like this video, subscribe to Alternatify, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration. We're always looking for new what-if scenarios to explore, so let us know your ideas. Keep questioning, keep imagining, and keep exploring the endless possibilities of Alternatify.